husky. Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here again.
It's a brand new day, never hold on to hate, cause you was placed here to be great. Please take your place, all queens got a seat at my table, cause without y'all, then the man ain't able. Melanated queen, connected to the universe, and so I gotta thank my mom for my birth. If hate is the curse, then love is the remedy. So I send you love no matter creed or identity, until infinity. Look at you like you kin to me. Even when we disagree, yo, you still kin to me. In other words, I can't bring you no trouble, can't bring you no beef, don't wanna see you deceased. Now if I'm coming at you, I'm coming with a business plan, cause every day I'm on some, yo, let's get this money, man. Yeah, and that's my real plans. I rest my head at night, I wake up, I got another plan.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here again.
It's a lot of high rappers tell me why we don't get money together, but we'll kill each other over whatever. Running down the freeway, we gonna own down. If Black Lives Matter, why we gonna own down? That's why they laugh and they think that we clowns. They hear what we say, but see how we get down. We gotta change that now, right now to be exact, cause hurting that man's moms is not where it's at now. Old school, new school need to learn, yo. They put us in groups so they can make more dough. The young versus the old versus the young, black versus white. You see the pattern, right? No unity, keep them all on some gutter-ish. This way they don't prosper and get rich. Yo, can't you see it's a trick? Just open your third eye and you'll see the full view of it. Now yo, what if the powers that be know that the real power lies within the people? That's us. And what if they using things like crayon colors, black and white, to separate the people? Hey, yo, you gotta wake up. Don't let them fool y'all. Spread love.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's. Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here again. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning.
All right, y'all know what to do. It is that time again. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. Shout out to everybody who's in the building, man. I see y'all up in here. I see everybody watching, everybody commenting in the chat, everybody ninja watching. It's good to see y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's Monday morning. We're up in here, man. Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're looking all crispy and clean and centered on the screen. I love it. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. All right, I'm your host, ClassE Beats, ClassEbeats.com. And today we got some amazing topics to cover. We actually have some things going on live right now. Speaking of Joe Biden stepping down, I know a lot of y'all are so upset. It's sad to see. We're going to talk about it. Kamala Harris is making her first appearance today as we speak, and we're going to go over that and cover that here in a second. Also, we've got some beef going on between Lil Woody and Whack 100. Woo! It's crazy out here in these streets. And then we're going to talk about the YSL trial, of course. Y'all know we've been staying up to date on that. We've got a couple of motions that just came out, and we're going to talk about them and cover them here as well. But before we get into it, how's everybody doing, man? It's good to see all y'all. We got all 200 of y'all up in the building. 300,000 of y'all now. If you guys could do me one favor. First of all, okay, I gotta ask two favors. I lied, y'all. If you could do me two favors. First thing is, let me know how y'all are doing in the chat. Make sure you say what's up. And then the second thing is, if you could, make sure you like the video. Not only does it help the channel continue to grow, but it lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show and it shares it with more people. It is the #1 way you can support this community. And I appreciate everybody who already took the time to do that too. Let me say what's up to the chat, man. We're going to go ahead and get into it. I see a bunch of y'all in here. Thank you to everybody who's in here. We got Lauren Robinson's in the building. Shout out to her. Mixed Chick Samantha's up in here, says, good morning, everybody. Shout out to Amy Lee up in here. She says, classy, good morning again. Me and Amy are always chopping it up. So she says good morning to me like 6 times. She says good morning. We've got Jenny D is up in here. My guy King Creole is in the building too. Shout out to King Creole. Always good to see you in here, man, in the morning. Who else? I know I missed a couple of y'all. Oh man, there's so many of y'all in here. I said what's up to Lauren. Lauren's in here. We got Thunder Drop up in the building. New timer in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for stopping by, Thunder Drop. And then, oh, what else? What else are y'all saying in here? I know I missed somebody. Dang. Amy said, classy, I got your water already. Hurry up. Shout out to Amy, man. Always taking care of me. We've got James Burrow is up in here too. Shout out to, oh, we got Delanaga in the building. Okay. ATL gang is in here. We got Kristen Vasquez. There it is. Samson. I knew Samson was in here. Shout out to Samson up in here as well. All right. If y'all are ready, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I know we got a few people joining us as well. We've got Illuminati. I see what you did there. Hey, yo. You got me. You got me, Illuminati. That is hilarious. Shout out to Illuminati in here. Lauren Robinson said, I'm struggling today, man. I went too hard this weekend. That is impossible, Lauren. You work hard all week. I know Lauren, she's got the crazy schedule over there. She does not take any breaks. So shout out to Lauren. You enjoy yourself. And then we'll spend Monday recovering with you. All right. Always good to see y'all in here. All right. We're almost at 1,000 people. So I know y'all want to go ahead and get into it. I have one announcement and then we will continue on with the show. Let me move this thing real quick. And here we go. All right. Y'all know what time it is. Some of y'all know. Most of you know. But tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Song of the Night live. It is a great show. I know we already converted Lauren Robinson over to the Song of the Night live. She was out there with us late on Friday night. She said, y'all be doing this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Yes, we do. If you're an artist or if you're just someone who enjoys music, make sure you stop by tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be listening to a lot of dope music from some of the independent artists here in the community, and we'll be giving away $100 and a brand new Shure 55 SH microphone. All right, so if y'all want an opportunity to win or you just want to check out some amazing artists, make sure you stop by tonight. It's going to be a good time. All right. Hollywood Cozy here. He said, I love music. I love music. Yes, you do. That's how they say it in Memphis, music. Illuminati. Oh, you got me good. That was hilarious, man. Shout out to Illuminati. All right, y'all. I've done enough talking as usual. Let's go ahead and get into it. We've got a lot of topics we have to cover today. Let's see. Let me double check and make sure I didn't miss anybody, and we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, this is a sad day, man. This is a sad day for some of y'all. We're going to talk about it, though. Man, I know it's tough out here. A lot of y'all are hurting. But our guy, the president of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, has stepped out of the race. He's gone. He stepped down, and he actually has endorsed his predecessor, as we should say. Wait, is it predecessor? No, that's not the right word. I'm using words the wrong way now. Anyway, Joe Biden. Oh, thank you. You know what? Hold on. Stop. Pause. 1 second. King Creole, he said something in the chat that reminded me of this. I completely forgot. If y'all want to call in, the link to call in is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. You guys can share your thoughts on everything that we're talking about today. You can share thoughts about something we didn't even talk about the show. if you've heard something that I've said in the past and you got some smoke for me, you can call in. All right. So y'all don't be shy. You don't even have to get on camera if you don't want to. If you want to get on camera, let me know and I can bring y'all up on camera. But call into the show. And then once we get done covering each topic, you guys can call in and share your thoughts. All right. And shout out to BF in there. I'm going to mess up your first name. So shout out to Fame is in the building as well. Good to see you. All right, here we go. Joe Biden officially stepped down. We're going to read and find out what's going on. And actually, he kind of predicted this not too long ago as to why he could possibly be stepping down. And surprisingly, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. And with him getting COVID, I know we're aware of some of the health issues that have been going on with him. Probably plays into the reason that he stepped down. But we're going to talk about it and read his letter here and see what he said. All right. Oh, man, this is going to make a lot of people upset. Joe R. Biden Jr. He says, my fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation.
Stop the cap.
Today, America has the strongest economy in the world.
Stop the cap.
We made historic investments in rebuilding our nation and lowering prescription drug costs for seniors and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We opened the borders and allowed tons of illegal immigrants to come into the sorry, that's not in there. My bad, y'all. I missed it. Hold on a second. I thought that was in there. Affordable health care to a record number of Americans. There we go. We provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. Man, this sounds like he's about to resign. This is emotional. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We protected and preserved our democracy, and we revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. I talk like this. It has been a great honor. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek reflection, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude for all those who worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. All right, that is Joe Biden. Sad to see. Not really. But he's out of the race. Right now, a lot of y'all may be wondering or asking what could have caused this or why could this have happened? Well, Joe Biden spoke on this a few days ago, actually, before he even said he wasn't going to be running anymore. So check this out.
Is there anything that you would look to, you personally, not anybody else, not other pundits, not even perhaps family members, that you would look to say, if I see that, I will reevaluate?
If there had some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem.
Okay, so, well, that makes me wonder, is something going on? As y'all may or may not know, he had COVID and he's been struggling with COVID. I think Kamala Harris came out and said that he was doing a little bit better and feeling better. So I can't imagine that would be a reason that he would step down and not run for re-election. So it's interesting to hear him say that. Makes us wonder if everything we've been thinking and seeing has been true this whole time.
But
It's hard
I
to
made
say.
a serious mistake in the whole debate. And look, when I originally ran, you may remember it, I said I was going to be a transitional candidate. And I thought that I'd be able to move from this, just pass it on to someone else. But I didn't anticipate things getting so divided. And quite frankly, I think the only thing age brings is a little bit of wisdom. And I think I've demonstrated that I know how to get things done
And dementia.
for the country, in spite of the fact they're told we couldn't get it done. But there's more to do, and I'm reluctant to walk away from that.
All right, so there's Joe Biden saying, hey, I'm still good to go, y'all. Times have changed. All right, so let's check out NBC News and see what they're talking about here. I see some of y'all calling in already. We'll get to the calls here shortly.
A sharp turn for history. As President Biden announced at 1:46 p.m., there would be no last campaign for him. I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. Then, in a separate statement, the president embraced his vice president. I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. A move that attempts to blunt any effort to open the nomination process before the August convention.
All right, there it is. So Kamala is in. Congratulations to her. Y'all have to let me know what you think about Kamala being endorsed by Biden. Was there someone else you would rather have? Do you think it's a good fit? I'll be interested to see what y'all think. Doesn't necessarily matter to me. Kamala being in isn't going to change who I plan on voting for, but congratulations to her nonetheless.
Effort to open the nomination process before the August convention. The president had praised Harris in a press conference that was intended in part to settle doubts about his candidacy.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president.
Oh, no. Why did they do that? Come on, y'all. NBC News, you couldn't pick a different clip. That's dirty. They just did. I wouldn't even do Joe Biden that dirty. Why did they pick this clip out of all the clips they could have shown? Come on, man. Dang, NBC.
Conference that was intended in part to settle doubts about his candidacy.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
The vice president offered thanks to the Bidens and made her intentions clear. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump.
Oh,
Reaction tonight from former President Barack Obama, who called Joe Biden a patriot of the highest order, describing the decision as a testament to Joe Biden's love of country. Praise from Bill and Hillary Clinton for his extraordinary career of service, while highlighting their worry about the threat posed by a second Trump term.
Yeah, and we're going to get to the Clinton statement here shortly, but it's interesting to see how they are they're weighing in on this. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me see. I got to fix something here. And shout out to everybody in the comments and everyone who's liked the video so far. All right. Let me make sure we're still good. Okay. I think we're good. All right. I got him. Okay, here we go. Let's finish with the video.
After a half-century of public life, his political brand was forged by being underestimated.
And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
The president had tried to save his shot at a second term.
And I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I can do this job.
But that did not quiet the pressure. After that June debate performance,
Look, if we finally beat Medicare,
an extraordinary rupture followed, a chorus of rejection
Dang,
that
NBC
grew
News
louder
did him
for
dirty.
weeks.
I think a new generation, it's time for a new generation to try to heal the party and heal the country.
The president is not capable of delivering the message in an effective way.
I don't think he should stay in the race.
Dang. Threw him under the whole bus.
Kelly, what comes next for the president?
Well, the president says he will address the nation sometime this week, and aides say that is depending on his recovery from COVID. He remains at his Delaware beach house. The vice president has been at her official residence in Washington, and aides say she and the president have spoken multiple times today. Lester?
All right, Kelly O'Donnell starting us off. Thanks. Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press, joins me now. Just Friday,
Lord,
the president said once he's over COVID, he'd be back on the campaign trail. What changed the calculus, Kristen?
Well, Lester, this moment has been building since the debate and really reached a fever pitch when Democratic leaders from Nancy Pelosi to Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, privately told President Biden they didn't think he could beat Donald Trump and that he could jeopardize Democrats' chances at holding on to the Senate and taking back the House. But it went beyond Democratic leadership. People who support Joe Biden were protesting outside of the White House, calling on him to pass the torch. Ultimately, Lester, the pressure became too great.
And it's funny because someone mentioned in the comments when the other side was saying it, well, they were haters. They just can't stand Joe Biden because he's going to do all these great things. Now everything comes to light, and it looks like we finally found something that Democrats and Republicans can agree on, and that's that Biden should not be running for president. Does that mean he shouldn't be in the White House? I don't know. Maybe he can make it another 3-4 months. We'll see.
Throws his backing to the vice president. How competitive is she? What data do we have?
Well, Lester, Vice President Harris matches up against former President Trump very similarly to President Biden, though some polls show her doing a little bit better. In our most recent NBC News poll, Mr. Trump leads Mr. Biden 45-43, while Trump leads Vice President Harris 47-45. The big question is, how does she fare in blue wall states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania? Does she put states like Georgia back in play? Bottom line, Lester, I've been talking to Democrats who feel like once she reintroduces herself to the American public, they expect her poll numbers to go up. Lester.
All right, Kristen Welker.
Oh, man. Y'all, I want to give my thoughts on this so much. I think she's going to get absolutely cooked by Trump in this one. You don't see a candidate like this in this way normally making it into the White House. It's just not the way it works. There's too much uncertainty. She still hasn't been endorsed and been praised by some of her contemporaries. It's not going to happen. And then when it comes down to policies and when it comes to debate and to what they stand on and experience, Trump is just going to absolutely demolish Kamala. I know she might be close to him on the popular vote, but we're going to be reminded of that as soon as they both get on the stage, which is going to be, man, box office for sure.
Thank you. And we're hearing from Vice President Harris tonight thanking Joe Biden for his endorsement, but the question remains, will she get the full backing of Democrats? Here's Hallie Jackson.
The spotlight tonight turning to Vice President Kamala Harris, one of President Biden's most vocal backers since that debate widely panned as disastrous.
It was a slow start. There's no question about that. But I thought it was a strong finish. We are looking at a president in Joe Biden who has done historic work.
Now, the president's endorsement of Harris puts her in the pole position to take the top of the ticket. Harris, in a statement today, saying in part, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." Adding, "We have 107 days until Election Day. Together we will fight, and together we will win." In recent days, some of the president's key allies have signaled if he were to step aside, it is Harris who should get Democrats' support.
This party should not in any way do anything to work around Ms. Harris.
Congressman Jim Clyburn today publicly backing Harris, with other Democrats following suit. The exception, the party's top leaders in the House and Senate, stopping short of an endorsement, but praising the president for his service. Whether it's Harris at the top of the ticket or not, other Democrats have been speculated to be in the mix, perhaps as a running mate, including California Governor Gavin Newsom.
President Biden doesn't run. Why shouldn't we consider you a likely?
Well, I think the vice president is naturally the one lined up.
Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro,
Gavin
Michigan's
Newsom
Gretchen Whitmer, Kentucky's Andy Beshear, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Harris, a former prosecutor who rose to become California's attorney general, was elected to the Senate in 2016 and ran for the White House 3 years later.
Woo, y'all, when it comes to California, too, this is going to be another play. Whether it's Newsom that gets in there or Kamala Harris, I don't know. I think the jury is still out on who the nominee is going to be. But either one of these people the state of California is just bad, absolutely terrible. And it would be easy to point to definitely Newsom, but possibly Kamala Harris too in that case. So I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
And I feel a sense of responsibility to stand up and fight for the best of who we are.
After being selected as President Biden's running mate, she was tapped by the White House to lead the administration's response on critical issues like the root causes of the immigration crisis, coming under fire from Republicans for the White House's handling of the border, and pressed by Lester on the topic in 2021.
We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Harris has taken on a vocal role advocating.
Is NBC right leaning? When did this happen? I'm surprised they have this much smoke for the Democratic side.
I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Harris has taken on a vocal role advocating for abortion access, slamming the GOP for its position on reproductive rights.
How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they?
How dare they?
Now a pivotal political moment for Harris and the nation.
As we mentioned, time is short. Vice President Harris is already turning to fundraising to shore up support.
That's right, Lester. Late tonight, posting a link online for people to donate, saying she will do everything in her power to bring the Democratic Party together. A clear indication of her intention from now until Election Day. Lester.
Thanks for watching.
All right, there it is. Lester Holt doing his work over there. Y'all got to let me know what you think about that in the comments. Is this the right move? Would you vote for Kamala Harris? Whatever side you're on. If not, y'all have to tell me in the comments why you think that. One more thing. So we have Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. They made a statement about everything that's going on with Joe Biden dropping out and Kamala Harris now looking like she's going to be the nominee. Shout out to the Defender for posting this over on X. They say former U.S. President Bill Clinton and his wife, Hillary Clinton, announced their endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic Party's presidential nominee. Statement from President Clinton and Secretary Hilton Clinton. I'm sorry, Secretary Hillary Clinton is what I meant to say. Good Lord. President Biden has capped his extraordinary career of service with the presidency that has lifted America out of unprecedented pandemic, created millions of jobs, and rebuilt a battered economy. Oh, wow. Okay. Strengthened our democracy and restored our standing in the world. By any measure, he has advanced our founders' charge to build a more perfect union and his own stated goal of restoring the soul of our nation. We join millions of Americans in thanking President Biden for all he has accomplished, standing up for America time and again, with his North Star always being what's best for the country. We are honored to join the president in endorsing Vice President Harris, and will do whatever we can to support her. We've lived through many ups and downs, but nothing has made us more worried for our country than the threat posed by a second Trump turn. Oh, Lord. I'm still waiting to hear what happened the first time. Somebody will have to tell me in the comments. They said we lived through many ups and downs, but nothing has made us more worried for our country than the threat posed by a second Trump term. Dang. He has promised to be a dictator on day one, and the recent ruling by his Supreme Court will only embolden him to further shred the Constitution. Now it's time to support Kamala Harris and fight with everything we've got to elect her. America's future depends on it. Okay, what do y'all think about Kamala Harris? I think this was a brilliant move on the Democratic side, as some of y'all are saying and seeing in the comments and in the live chat. A lot of people support this. This gives them maybe the extra boost that they lost after the debate and after the failed assassination attempt. So it'll be interesting to see once we get closer to November what happens. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Is this the right choice? Is she going to be the nominee? And could she possibly win moving forward? We got a caller in here too. Let me get my guy King Creole in here without any more delay. All right, King Creole. Now, King Creole's out there in Texas. He's out there representing Tejas. King Creole, what do you have to say, sir? And good morning.
Good morning, man. Man, first of all, wow.
Is that a good wow or a bad wow? Tell the people what you think, man.
Man, it's absolutely, it's a shock, really, of a wow, just because, like, man, okay. Where do I start with this? The same thing that it is a smart move on the Democratic Party. I will say that, because right now they don't really have a full hand to play. Like, who else are they going to put in there? They're definitely not going to put Hillary Clinton back up to the forefront.
Oh, God, no.
Because she has way too much heat on her from everything that's happened prior to that. And we saw what happened when she debated Trump last time. So that's a no-go. The assassination attempt, quote unquote, that did not pan out the way that I think some people may have wanted it to.
Yep.
Because that would just ensure that I guarantee if that would have been successful, I believe we still would have seen Joe Biden still in the running, because that would have guaranteed to have him in there, and he still would have made the puppet that we have been seeing for years now with him, because he can't string together intelligible sentences. He can't read the teleprompter. He's struggling up there. He's up in age. All those things that are working against him. So, of course, from the beginning, when they paired him with Kamala, that was the card. And I guess this is what kind of really frustrates me, is that we've seen this time and time again as to where the emotional card gets played. And I think a lot of people are playing off of emotions.
Is there is there a specific people that are playing off of those emotions, King Creole?
Yeah, melanated people, black and brown melanated people, and it's sad to watch it happen because it's constant pandering. It even happened early on with Joe Biden, right? Like when he made the statement, like, if you're not voting for me, you're not black. Like, come on, right? How much more blatant and in your face could it be than that statement? And people still kind of went with the okie doke on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to see now, because a lot of what I've seen on people that are in my circle that's around me, that don't necessarily have the exact same political views that I have.
Yeah.
It has immediately gone to all the memes of, like, oh, she can show little black girls that they can be whatever they want, and all of that, and which I do understand that is a positive thing for children of color to see. I 100% do agree with that.
Right.
But didn't we see that when we had our first black president with Obama? Didn't it show you that, hey, if you're a person of color, then you can achieve your goals if you push towards it? You can become president, right?
Yeah.
So why do we need to play that same thing over again? But with the climate that we have, with a high level of sorry if it'll piss a whole bunch of people off, but
that's okay.
The LGBTQ alphabet gang, as to where, hey, you saw Black Lives Matter got sucked into it, and you got your stripe on the flag, and now it's a part of that. But that's like the culture. So now we have everything that we need to push her to the forefront, to give her the steam, even if she's not qualified, right? She has the look, she has the right chromosomes in this case, for it to be that, hey, we're gonna push her as the person as before. And I'm not saying it's gonna be a blowout. I do feel she does still have a fighting chance with it, just because of the climate that we're in as a social state in America. Like,
well,
she has
and blatant hate for Trump, right? I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
People just hate. They just can't, they hate Trump.
Absolutely. And then also they're going to use the Project 2025 as more fuel to pour on the gasoline for it, which I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the things that are in that. Some of it is a little bit on the extreme side.
Yeah.
But at this point where we're at, I think as a nation, we're at a very, very strong tipping point for, like, just to see, like, hey, where are the values, like, truly lying? Where are we looking at politically with everyone that's in there? It's an old system that definitely needs some overhaul. And I think that's kind of like the feeling behind the Project 2025 is that, you know, they see that, hey, a lot of things are happening that don't necessarily align up with what the nation stands for.
Yeah, right.
And they're pushing it, and it may be in a little bit more extreme. The same thing as far as for, you know, a lot of more liberal people as to where, hey, we don't necessarily want it to be super tight lace. Well, why? It's again that balancing act of how can we meet in the middle. But I think with this move right here, she stands a chance. It's a little bit scary to be honest, just because I'm with
you.
What have we seen her do that is been I don't know fruitful?
I mean, she stood next to Joe Biden for 4 years, so I mean, she's got that under her belt.
But that's exactly what she did. She stood next to him. Other than that, what have we seen from her as to where she's come out was like, man, Kamala Harris has really came out with this policy that has absolutely changed the game for XYZ. You haven't seen any of that. At least when Joe Biden was in next to Obama, we got to see him actually pushing and making some changes and actually doing some stuff that was positive change, or at least something noteworthy, and was able to carry himself in a manner as to where it's like, okay, I could possibly see this person running for president. We have not seen that in her.
So what are you hearing? I know it's happened pretty recently, but what are you hearing from your side, just from people you're talking to, or even just the sentiment of people who are supporting this move and what they're excited for and why they're excited for it?
Man, look, I wish there was like a really great reason that I've seen behind a lot of it, but majority of it has been simply because she's a female and she is a person of color. She's black, so I'm gonna vote for her because, and it's been a lot of females that I know, and then even on the male side, it's simply a hatred of Trump. Those are the two things that are setting up for it. And it's like we've seen this being played out over and over again as to where it's like, are we really going to continue to fall for the same pandering of like, hey, they wave the shiny card of like, hey, we'll give you another first of something. That's how I see it. It's like, hey, we're going to give you another first of black president. We're going to give you the first female black president. We're going to be the first of this. And it's like, why are we voting just to check a box for that? Like, is that going to actually benefit you? Is that actually going to do something that's going to help you out? And then again, I saw something earlier today too that, you know, somebody said, which is also true in a sense, is where after November, our communities are essentially, they're going to look the same. No matter who you go out and go vote for, whether you vote or not, our communities are going to end up looking the same because it's on a smaller level. So if you want to have that change, if you want to see these changes happening, you've got to vote on your state and local level. You need to be involved with it. You need to know what's going on, and you actually have to get out there yourself and make those changes in your community. You can't rely on this, because that's how we get to where we are now, is to where they're like, hey, look, we got this person that checks all the boxes that'll make you feel good to go vote for. It's not going to give you any change or any progress, but it's going to make you feel good that you did, and you can get a t-shirt for it, you can get a hat, you can get a commemorative coin, all of those things. But what is it actually changing? What is it actually doing to stop the fact that the middle class is disappearing? That if you have a 6-figure income in your household, you're still teeter-tottering on the edge of being poor. What is that going to change?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, that's a great point, and something I bring up so often, because it's nice to see, you know, Donald Trump of the Apprentice TV show up there and fighting the power, and then Kamala Harris, a female, you know, woman of color who may possibly be the first female president. But we know, really, not even behind the scenes, it's pretty upfront who actually controls a lot of the things that happen and move behind whatever president is in office. And that's a lot of it's at a local level. That's really going to affect you. A lot of it's in senators, congressmen, and we kind of leave those things in just if we go and vote, check off a box based off of somebody's name looking cool or if what color they are. So I think that's really the thing that we have to focus on, especially as we go into this next 4 years and moving forward, because I'm seeing personally whoever gets into office, there's going to be some major changes, whether people are talking about Project 2025, whether you believe in that or not, or whoever gets in on the Democratic side, with things staying the same and moving in the direction that they are. I mean, it's going to be a wild ride for sure.
Oh, it absolutely is. And again, a lot of it is, you know, you've got to check out who your state representatives are. You need to find out what's going on in your house, who your representatives are. The main thing that we really should be pushing for is terms on representatives. There's no
Absolutely.
reason that there's no term limit on there. We've got people that have been in there since the 50s and 60s that still have that old mindset. Like, if you want to see it, that's where it's going to come. That's where the change is going to happen. Even the president has so much power, right? But it still has to go to the House for a vote. You still have to have those people inside. Those are the ones that are ultimately making these decisions, and those are the ones that are in the cabinets, and that's what is pushing these agendas that you're seeing behind it. If you want to look at that higher level of government efficiency, that's where your focus need to be. Go take some trips out to Washington. I've been out there. I've got a chance to see the bureaucracies straight ahead as to where they give you the run around and you got to literally sit in people's offices to try and get an audience with them to explain, hey, this is what we're pushing for in our little corner of Houston and all of that. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, it really is just get involved on your local level. That's the only way you're going to be able to move up to get any of this other change that we want to see that's happening with it. This is just kind of, you know, it's the figureheads that we see out here. It's great for hot takes and all of this, but man, it starts on that lower level and then you work your way up. So man, that's it. I know I'm gonna lose a lot of friends and alienate some
No,
people.
you're not. You're saying the quiet thing out loud, man. I appreciate it, especially when it comes to the alphabet community and sometimes the easily swayed folks in our community. I think it needs to be said. It's a conversation that needs to be had, and this is we're not PC over here, so whatever you think on either side, we're going to talk about and share the truth. And
the other thing is too that I really want everybody to understand too is that you don't have to agree on politics. Like you don't have to agree on politics. You don't have to agree on religion. That does not mean that, oh, well, I don't like that person anymore. That's not what that is. You can have healthy conversations about it, because like I said, a lot of it, I agree with certain things on both sides and I disagree with certain things on both sides.
Yeah. But
being able to actually sit down and have those conversations and not immediately just writing off your friends and family members, because I've literally seen the politics that are coming out now dividing families, and it's absolutely nuts. Like, you can still have these conversations, and at the end of the day, we're like, hey, we can agree to disagree, but at least have the conversation. So I appreciate you for even creating a platform outside of music to be able to like talk about this stuff too.
Yeah, like you said, it's important. Whatever state you're in, whatever city you're in, it's important that we understand and have these conversations, because people really, they just don't think about it, especially in this community, right? We're all over here saying my president is black, my Lambo's blue. That's all we care about. That's all we care about in the music community. So we're definitely going to keep having the conversation. I appreciate you being a part of that. But one thing before you get out of here, you got $1,000. I'll give you $1,000 to put on one candidate. Who do you think is going to win?
Man, you know, I would have to say if it's 1,000 going down for it, I put it on Trump simply because I think that he has a little bit more of the experience business side wise. He's been in that position. Yep. He has the relationship abroad, as she said in the thing. I haven't even been to Europe. You can't come out here and say that stuff. Come on now, give me my money.
You're right. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling in. You can call in anytime, brother. Any topic. And even if you just have some thoughts you want to share on something, please make sure you take the time to call in. All right.
Yeah, man. For sure, man. Y'all be easy. Peace.
All right. Take it easy, man. That was King Creole, aka Mr. Christopher Roy, up in here representing the amazing state of Tejas, and hopefully, maybe in another, we'll say, it probably won't be 4 years, but maybe in another 8 years or so, y'all will let us borrow Abbott over there, man. We need him. We need him in there. Shout out to King Creole. All right, let me see what y'all are saying in the chat, and then we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. We got over 1,200 people in here, and most of y'all like the video. Thank y'all so much for liking the video. It means a lot, and it does help the channel continue to grow. So thank y'all. Oh, we got a lot in the chat, man. Y'all are going crazy. I love seeing Wealthy Wisdom in here. Shout out to Wealthy Wisdom. If you come out against Kamala, you're going to be considered a sexist or a racist or homophobic, probably, or pro-choice. One of those things, or pro-life. One of those things. I'm a black man, and that's crazy. Only when we want to gain something, those things are important. Amy says, as VP, it is Kamala Harris's duty and responsibility to invoke the 25th Amendment and tell Congress if the president is unable to carry out his duties as president. But she did not invoke the 25th. No, she said, hey, Jill, can you go grab his arm real quick? We're good. Just make sure he doesn't do anything crazy. Mar said, even for the alphabet community, why do you need laws on who's... Yo,
what did he say?
I gotta read these comments before I put them up on the screen. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Boss. He's celebrating the love y'all are showing on YouTube. He said 1,200 watching, 1,000 likes. Thank y'all, man. Y'all have no idea. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna beg for likes until I stop doing YouTube, which isn't gonna be for a long time. Y'all do not realize how much liking the video means. If you want to share it, if you want to subscribe, that's great too, but liking the video really does help a lot, so I appreciate it. Shout out to Mar, man. He got me. Dang Mar. Mr. Tesla says, I'm putting 1,000 in stock, that way I get something back. Come on, play the game, Mr. Tesla. Don't be that guy. Hollywood Co said King Creole for president. Lady Bliss is up in here. Thank you for stopping by. Lady Bliss says she's not the nominee. You think the AKAs are gonna not let her be the nominee? She's gonna be the nominee. But let me know what you think, Lady Bliss. Who do you think is going to be the nominee? Anybody from the West Side gets in there, whether it's Newsom or Kamala. I think Trump's gonna cook them, but we'll have to see. Wealthy Wisdom says, for years, those issues were never the case. People should vote on policies, and for years, Kamala has done little to nothing. Not to mention her work. If you look at her resume before she became vice president, if we said Trump did those things, people would be burning every Republican National Convention down. But hey, you know, it is what it is. She's a woman of color, so she gets to do what she wants. Mar says, if she's not the nominee, black women will burn the... That's so funny. He said the same thing. Will burn the DNC down. It's too late for this. With her being endorsed by the Clintons, she's been endorsed by Joe Biden. There's no turning back now. Just raised $1 million. Some of y'all were saying in 3 hours, I think they said. There were 40-some thousand AKAs on a Zoom call, and they raised over $1 million for her. Yeah, it would be a horrible look, but they might not care because, I mean, the Electoral College is what it is, right? Let's see. Lauren Robinson says Trump because JD Vance is a strong VP choice. Oh, interesting. JD Vance is a strong VP choice and can carry on when Trump's 4 years are up. Y'all want to see something interesting? If you don't know who JD Vance is, Look at JD Vance's family. What do you notice about his family? Can y'all see this picture? Oh, y'all probably can't see it. This is JD Vance and his wife. Y'all can't see the picture on the screen, but let me see if I can open link in new tab. Let me see if it'll do that way. Look at JD Vance's wife. Uh-oh. She got a little bit of a similar background to Kamala Harris. Now, y'all know Kamala Harris, she... Do I want to go into that? I'm not going to go into the whole black thing, but she is a woman of color. So that'll be interesting to see if they play off of that. Wealthy Wisdom said his wife is of Indian descent. So is Kamala Harris. She is Indian and Jamaican, if I remember right. So, whew. Maybe they saw this coming and Trump said, hey, JD, come on up over here. Help me out with this because it looks like Kamala's about to run. Amy says she has always been for a socialist nation. Oh, no. We can't do that. We can't do that. We want nothing socialist related in this country. We aren't Soviet Union. This is America. If we want to keep it that way, so she isn't the answer. I just cannot see another 4 years moving and doing what we're doing. I just can't see it going well. And if that means we need to go, I'm trying to think of what side is right on y'all's screen. If we need to go all the way to the right to kind of course correct things, then hey, I'm for it, because there's a lot of issues with our economy. There's a lot of issues with things that are happening in the country with the... I'm not the political guy, so I'm just a guy out here giving my opinion, but I'm here for it. Yeah, he said she's Jamaican and Indian. Yep. Mar says, F it. Kamala was fine back in the day, man.
Yeah, that brother's star.
Mar is always over here thirsting over some of these. Hey, at least he's showing love, though. Mar loves him some black women. He loves him some sisters. Nothing wrong with that, Mar. Do you think? Shout out to Creole Bella up in here. Appreciate you stopping by. Uh-oh. Creole Bella is speaking out. She said, all black women are not voting for Kamala. It's a no from me. Creole Bella, if you want to call in, please do that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on why. If you want to type them in the comment, you can do that too. I'd love to hear specifically from a black woman on why she wouldn't vote for Kamala. Because listen, if y'all could find me 100 black women who will publicly say they're not voting for Kamala, I'll give you $100. All right. So, Creole Bella, if you could, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Boss says if Kamala isn't nominated, it's gonna look like a Waffle House bra off Glenwood Avenue. Hey, yo, chill, boss. God dang. And then Mar, okay, see, y'all are gonna get this. This is super. We're going super non-PC now. Mar says, I love black women, not for marriage though. Oh my God. What? Yo, man, Mar, you gotta chill, my brother. Shout out to KJ Hawkins in the building. The new timer says, I agree with Creole Bella. I would love to hear her thoughts if she wants to call in. K Cooper, you should call in too. Shout out to my fellow bag chaser over there. K Cooper says, not for marriage. That's not cool. Yeah. K Cooper is a lovely black woman, and that does not apply to her. Okay. God dang. Shout out to Lawn One, aka El Papicito, is in the building. Good to see you back, man. He said Jamal is known for I'm not gonna read that out loud. Mr. Tesla said, don't do that, ClassE. I'll get to work for that money. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. I see you over there. We'll read a couple more comments and then we'll go on to our next topic because, man, we still got a lot to get to. Lauren says he has a beautiful family. KJ Hawkins says, I'm not voting for. More than it's wild. Oh man. We've got Joy and Peace is in here as well. Thank you for stopping by, Joy and Peace. She said, original Ebony woman here. Not ever will I vote for Harris. Oh my gosh. Horrible on policy, horrible in California, doesn't speak policy or constitution. Give it up for Joy Peace, a lovely black woman stopping by the show. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you being aware of some of the things that she's done and what her history has been, because I think that's important. Even when looking at Trump, y'all know, I saw somebody posted a check of Donald Trump donating to Kamala Harris, I think back in 2010. And I'm like, man, this man, he wasn't running for president back then. I don't even know if he was considering it. He was a businessman. Of course, he's going to play the business game. If somebody had a stance that was going to support him in his business and help him do what he needs to do, oh yeah, I'll listen, man. If Kamala Harris is going to make me more money, Kamala, you got my vote. But I think it's important for us to see some of the things that are going on behind the scenes. Amy says, I'm a woman and I'm all for supporting women, but this is not a qualified woman to run our country. Boss says today is tomorrow's yesterday and yesterday is tomorrow and tomorrow is the future. Did y'all want me to play that clip? Let me see if I can find it. This is wild. And then we'll keep it moving with the show. But I just love interacting and chopping it up with y'all in the chat. Let me see if I can find that video. Hold on a second. If y'all haven't seen this is hilarious.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
All right, y'all are ready. Are y'all ready for a Kamala roast session? Hold on a second. We're going to do this. It's time. Kamala, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do this to you, Kamala, but it's roast time. I'm not voting for it, so I don't care. But y'all check this out. Let me pull up the videos and get them ready. Let me cue these things up. And then we'll get into it. All right, here's the first one.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
What's she shaking her head for? That's true. Yeah, shout out. Kamala Harris got cooked there, by the way. And then we've got this one.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
I'm sorry, Kamala. I'm sorry. Oh, that's enough. I can't take it. Here's the last one. This is what reminded me of this roast session. Shout out to who was it? Boss over here. Shout out to Boss. This is what reminded me of that.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be
unburdened by who we have been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. Where we can be, unburdened by where we have been, and unburdened by where we are
Papacito
right now.
said, let's be unburdened by Kamala, please.
Unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Hey, y'all know what the campaign slogan is going to be, right? God dang. It gets better. This is 4 minutes of this. I got to skip ahead because this is wild. It's too much. It's too much. Oh, it's not going to play now because I skipped ahead. What does Amy say? The same people screaming for gun control are now screaming and mad the shooter missed. What? This is not a gun problem, but rather a heart problem. God help us. Yeah. God bless America. Let me see. Do we have somebody else come in? Oh, come on. Don't tell me the video's not going to play. Dang. That's a shame.
An electric vehicle.
We got another one.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
I remember when she said this. She said reduce population. What? People said, huh? Is that a Freudian slip, Kamala? What you talking about?
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Yeah, she meant to say pollution. Oh my gosh. Here's what some of y'all were talking about. We're not going to do that now. We can keep it a little bit classy over here.
What can be
It goes on for 4 minutes.
unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What?
All right, we're good. That was it, man. We're done. We're going to leave Kamala alone and let her live. Now, up next, we are going to see some live coverage from when Kamala Harris spoke earlier today, the first time since she had been endorsed. I want to see what y'all think about that, but we're going to take a brief intermission. I'll be right back. I'll read some of y'all's comments and then we'll get back into it. All right, let me play some music for y'all and I will be right back. Here we go. All right, here we go. We back. She said population control. Oh my God. Shout out to Marco the Prophet on this one and Alexa Ray with poetic prophecy. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Let me see what y'all are saying in the comments and we'll get into our next topic here. Amy Lee, what does Amy say? She says, out of her mouth, she spoke. Population control is a thing. Don't make me pull out my tinfoil hat. They don't want to talk about it, Amy. They want to talk about their president black. The Lambo's blue. You know what time it is. I'll ask y'all a serious question. And speaking of a question, let me put a poll in the chat. Is Kamala going to be the Democratic? All right, y'all let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Kamala is going to be the Democratic nominee. Wow, I had another point I was going to make, but I completely forgot that quick. I was asking if Kamala was going to be the Democratic nominee, and then I was going to ask y'all something else, and I lost it. Dang. Wealthy Wisdom says everyone who you see coming out publicly for the Democratic Party endorsing her didn't want her to even be with Biden's running mate. Absolutely. Amy said, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Dang, that's tough. Lady Bliss says Obama is half white. Oh, I remember what I was going to ask now. It was the white side that raised and educated him. It was the black side that abandoned him. Oh, Lady Bliss. Yo, chill. Lady Bliss, you got to chill. You can't speak too many facts in here. All right, listen, Lady Bliss, we got 1,400 people watching. All right, please save the facts for the end of the show. All right, relax, Lady Bliss. Good Lord. I have a question that I want to ask Kendrick Lamar. If Kamala is black, does that mean Drake is black? Can Drake say ninja again? I know a lot of y'all don't even care about this conversation, but artists in the chat, let me know. Is Drake back in now that Kamala is about to be the nominee? And we got the AKAs, arguably one of the blackest, if not the blackest, female run sorority in the nation supporting her. So I guess they are like us, huh? Shout out to El Papicito, says, get the likes up, people. Y'all know what to do. We're good though. We're at 50-50. I'm not going to beg y'all for likes right now, but if you guys want to find it in the kindness of your heart to like the video, I would appreciate it. All right. What else are y'all saying? Ooh, this turned up for some reason. Mixed Chick Samantha says, you can ask me. I'm mixed with black and white. Ooh. Uh-oh. Mixed Chick Samantha. What do you think? Is Drake black now? Is he back in? And I'm sorry, y'all. My screen keeps glitching. I got to figure out what's going on here. But either way, let me know what you think. Hollywood Co said, not funny. Oh, yeah, you know. Answer the question, Co. If a Jamaican Indian is in there, how y'all feel about Drake? Drake? I'm just asking. Y'all said it. They not like us. I guess they are now. Mixed Chick Samantha says, my dad is black and I'm legally, and she says no. Wealthy Wisdom says, AKA is only supporting her to push their feminist agenda. Trust me. Everyone knows Kamala ain't doing anything good and has not done anything good. Yeah, I mean, it's all the look. And King Creole talked about it earlier. We know why she's being propped up and endorsed by all of these people, because they know not only is she not their number one option, but they'll have a lot more control possibly in this situation too. Again, we're going to leave the tinfoil hats to the side, but we know Kamala, come on, man. Kamala don't know what she's doing in there. Not that Joe Biden did. Hollywood Co said, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. I don't know. If Kamala gets in there, y'all know they're going to be like, my Lambo's black. Or my president's black. My Lambo's blue. So now she's black. Drake is black now. It's official. Amy says, plug in tight to the monitor. It's a glitch. Yeah, no, it's not, Amy. It's because I think my CPU is getting overpowered because I got too many things open, but we gonna roll with it. Mixed Chick Samantha says he's black, but he's not like us. K-Dot got it right. Uh-oh. Mar says, AKA feminist agenda. Laugh out loud. Creole Bella. We're going to get a couple more comments and then we got to get to this live scene from Kamala up in here. All right. We got to see what Kamala's saying. Creole Bella says, I remember seeing an interview she did asking about her black side. She quickly shut it down to acknowledge her other cultures. Yeah, a lot of Jamaicans and a lot of Islanders, they don't, well, even if you go a little bit more east to a lot of parts of Africa, they're like, man, we are completely different from black Americans. Like, don't call us black. Call us what we are. Jamaicans, some Jamaicans don't even like being called black. So I don't know, maybe that's where that comes from. Wealthy Wisdom says, this is only for optics, and trust me, she wasn't even supposed to be on the Biden ticket this election cycle either. She was only still there because of black females / donors / members. Yeah, and I think Joe Biden's too, his recent gaffes when it comes to the debate, I mean, how he responded after the failed assassination attempt, it's just, it was time. Like, they got to hit a reset. The Democratic Party said, hey, we got to hit a reset. We got to get our numbers back up because it ain't looking great right now. El Papicito says, Kamal is Jewish also, or she claims? What? No. Are you serious? That would be insane. No, there's no way. She's not going to play the Jewish card because they went full on free Palestine. I can't see that at all. Shout out to Helen Vega says, that's all you have on Vice President Harris. Criticize your own candidate. Oh, she's telling me this. I can't talk about it. All right. Well, that's the end of the show. Helen said, I cannot talk about this anymore. Thank y'all for being here. It's been a great time. Helen said, we got to shut it down and we cannot talk about what's going on in the United States that I live in and pay taxes in and have been in my whole life. So I guess that's the end of the show. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So I think that's a good place to transition over to this. I will try my best not to critique Vice President Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris finally spoke out after getting these endorsements and after being endorsed, most importantly, by President Joe Biden. And she did a live stream. She had a live press conference. She did say a little bit too much, but I want you guys to see and listen to what she had to say. And we can look at this entire event. And I want to see what y'all think about what she is voicing and the hope that she's giving the people that she's the right choice. Let's see what she said.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. And Linda, I want to thank you for all you do to support these extraordinary student athletes. And it is good to be here with so many leaders, including, of course, members of Congress, members of our administration, and our extraordinary athletes. Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast. And he looks forward to getting back on the road. And I wanted to say a few words about our president. Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history.
You gotta fire that cameraman.
In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap.
Oh, Lord, there's that laugh again. Chill, Kamala, come on now. I can't say anything because I laugh a lot too. Hey, she's happy. She's happy, all right? Y'all leave her alone.
In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office. And I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We worked together as attorneys general in our states. And back then, Beau would often tell me stories about his dad. He would talk about the kind of father and the kind of man that Joe Biden is.
What about Hunter? Oh, we're not going to talk about Hunter. We'll leave him alone, though. Y'all let Hunter live.
And the kind of
we're talking about Beau. Rest in peace.
That Joe Biden is. The quality and the kind of man that Joe Biden is. The qualities that Beau revered in his father are the same qualities that I have seen every day in our president. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness.
Well, this cameraman is terrible.
Our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Nice job.
And so with that, on behalf of our President and Dr. Biden, I am honored to welcome all of you to the White House to celebrate the achievements of these great athletes. Every one of them is a national champion, a national champion. In America, tens of millions of people play a sport as a child, and the best of the best grow up to become national champions. Here today, we have 7 undefeated teams, 11 repeat champions, and 20 first-time winners. Talking about you guys. Some of you have represented our nation on the international stage in World Cups and
She's not
World
really saying much,
Championships.
to
And
be
later
honest.
this month, 6 of you will represent our nation at the 2024 Olympics in Paris.
So I guess from this, it's looking like Kamala's not really going to make a public statement at this particular event. We'll keep going and see if she has anything else to say, though.
As members of Team USA, you are ambassadors for our nation, and with pride, we will cheer you on. And we look forward to congratulating you when you bring home the gold. When you bring home the gold. So to all of our athletes, I know it was not easy to make it to this moment. Each of you has faced challenges and obstacles.
Let's see if we can skip forward.
And you have endured. You have fought back and fought through. By doing so, you demonstrated that true greatness requires more than skill. It requires grit and determination. You all know what it means to commit and to persevere.
The cameraman had an extra cup of coffee this morning. Good Lord.
It means to count on teammates. During the course of a long season, sports teams become a family. You rely on each other. You develop relationships that will last a lifetime. And you make the people around you better in every way. And when you play, you inspire people across our nation. You remind all of us what can be achieved with hard work and ambition. And of course, none of you made it here alone. Today, you are surrounded by the people who stood by you every step of this journey, the folks who support you on and off the field, your friends, your family members, your coaches, your trainers, and teachers who for years have cheered you on. So today, again, let us give them a round of applause.
Well, let me see if she comes back up here afterwards.
And in conclusion, I say to our athletes, congratulations again on all you have accomplished, and good luck on all that is to come. Wherever you all go from here, you will always, and know this, you will always be champions, and we will always be so proud of you. And so now it is my honor to welcome to the stage Jordan Dudley, who plays on the Florida State University women's soccer team.
Okay, we don't care about that. There it is, man. Kamala Harris. That is potentially your future nominee. Wasn't really much there. She was giving a lot of praise to Joe Biden, saying, hey, y'all, he's still good. He's fine. But he's out of the race. Looks like she's about to be up, especially we have some of these high profile politicians backing her. So we're just waiting on a few more to give her the green light, and I think it's going to be up. So I want to hear what y'all think in the comments. Is this really happening? Is Kamala Harris going to be the one? I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. What are y'all saying? Mixed Chick Samantha says she's falling asleep over there. Oh, no. Mr. Tesla says cameraman must have found that baggie at the White House. Oh. Hey, yo. No, Hunter is somewhere else. So we're good. Lauren says she talk a lot about nothing of substance. Yeah, she was. It is what it is. What does Amy say? Oh, she's talking to Harris. She says, Harris, she was very unpopular during her presidential bid in 2020. The only reason, where did the rest of it go? Oh, she's VP is due to 1, she's female. 2, picked as a black person, even though she's a quarter black and 3/4 Indian. Subcontinent country in Asia. Yeah, she's Jamaican. Is that black? Y'all go ask a Jamaican if they're black. I think you'd be surprised at at their response, but I get what you're saying. She's a woman of color. Let's just call her that. Let's just call her a woman of color. Lauren Robinson said, been in Washington 412 years and didn't accomplish anything. God dang. Amy says, how can anyone say Biden did a great job? Yeah, I don't know. You lost me on that one. Let me see if anybody wanted to call in. Let's pull up the phone lines and see if anyone decided to call in. We haven't seen anybody over there yet. But again, if y'all want to call in, make sure you do that. The link to call in is in the description and in the pinned comment in the chat. All right, we've got one more topic we're going to get to. I had another one. We'll have to save it for tomorrow. But I think this one's important, especially when it comes to the YSL trial, which I know a lot of y'all are here to hear about. So I'll give you some updates there. Let me read a couple more comments here. Hold on a second. Mixed Juice Samantha said alkaline break. Amy said water, be right back. Floyd said, oh yeah, shout out to Floyd. He said Papa Floyd made it out of surgery well. Let me go back and find your other comment. He said Pops just got out of surgery and is in recovery. It was supposed to be 2 stents that ended up being 3. Thanks for all your prayers. And yeah, shout out to Floyd. And we'll still be praying for him, man, for a smooth recovery. That's dope. And then we've got Floyd also says, I didn't think she was going to say much about it. I don't think she wanted to take away from the athletes. That's what this was for. She's going to have a lot of support, though. I think so, for sure. Is it enough, though? Is it enough? Let me see what y'all said in the comments. I said, is Kamala going to be the Democratic nominee? And it looks like 64% of you said, yes, sir. She's in there. All right. So if the votes on our channel are any indication of what's going to happen, it looks like Kamala might be in there. We'll have to see what some of the other elites have to say on this one. Wealthy Wisdom says, if Kamala's win, everyone will complain they should have voted for Trump. Yeah. It's the recency bias. And honestly, man, I don't think she can get there. I don't think she can get in again because, I mean, how crazy. I don't know how they're going to spend another 4 years of a Democrat in office. I just don't see it. We just need some type of major shift. People aren't going to like it. They're going to say Project 2025, but yeah, having a Democrat in there for another 4 years, I just think would be devastating in so many ways to the United States when it comes to specifically the economy. I mean, you think about jobs, you think of the state that the borders are in right now. You think of everything that's going on with inflation, with housing prices. We got to make a dramatic shift the other direction. Floyd says, I think one of the most powerful and educated forces we have in America are Black women. Do they have enough to turn the car? I don't know what that means. One of the most powerful and educated forces we have in America are Black women. I don't know. And then he says, it's a different race for sure. He said it was a wall in the park for sure. Ooh, Floyd. I don't know. He must have his voice to text on. I don't know what he's saying. Wave Lori says Teflon Don. He's not going anywhere. Okay, let's get into our last topic here. We've got some updates for y'all on the YSL trial. So we're going to get into that real quick. He says start the car. I think he's probably got his voice to text on, Mr. Tesla, and he forgot to turn it off. So he's just, I think he meant to stop it at, I think one of the most powerful and educated forces we have in America are Black women. Powerful? I agree. I have to agree with that. Just look at everything. Look at the economy. when it comes to education, they're the most educated. When it comes to being consumers, I mean, they spend the most money. They run and feed a lot of the things that are going on in this economy. So they have a lot of sway. Yeah, when it comes to things that happen in America. Okay, one more thing from Floyd, and then we'll get into this next topic. He says, yeah, it was an easy race before. That group being as large as it is, can they influence enough people to change the way the race was going? That's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, you've got several people in here who's saying they're still not going to vote for Harris. So I would like to think that it's still going to go the way we thought it was going to 2 days ago when we were still talking about Trump being that dude, but it's hard to tell. Anyway, shout out to y'all. I appreciate everybody in the comments. Let's go ahead and get to it. So Brian Steele, again, is not backing down. Now that we've got the new judge, Paige Whitaker is ready. She gave a status update last Friday that we covered. And Brian Steele, I mean, he's putting everything that he said in writing. He's got some more motions that he filed, and we're going to get into it here right now with this most recent one. All right, y'all check this out. So this is the motion to challenge factual findings, not result of the Honorable Judge Krause's order dated July 15, 2024, granting the motions to recuse Judge Glanville. Now, check this out. This comes from Thugger Daily. They say Brian Steele files a motion challenging the factual findings of Judge Rachel Krause when she kicked Judge Glanville off the case. Previously, Thugger Daily noted that Krause said in order that, wait, hold on a second. This is typed weird. So it says previously, Thugger Daily noted that Krause said in her order that there was nothing inappropriate about the ex parte meeting. Steele is challenging that. If y'all remember, I can actually pull this up. This is the order that we have from Rachel Krause. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, we've reviewed this a couple of times. What does she say here? And this is in the, not the legal framework section. This is the analysis and discussion section. All right. So let's review this one more time. And she says, while it may be appropriate for the judge to disclose information relevant to his potential recusal, she's talking about Judge Glanville, such a disclosure must be made in a way that is as objective, dispassionate, and non-argumentative as possible, so that the judge is not reasonably perceived as a hostile witness or advocate. In presenting his records as to the recusal issues and ruling in Kendrick's motion, Judge Glanville evaluated and accepted the truth of his own factual allegations mandating his recusal. The court has no doubt that Judge Glanville can and would continue presiding fairly over this matter if the recusal motions were denied.
Stop the cap.
Nobody's buying that. Okay, and this is what Brian Steele is saying. She's saying there really wasn't anything that Judge Glanville did wrong, but as she says here, the necessity of preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system weighs in favor of excusing Judge Glanville from further handling the case. So he didn't do anything wrong, but it looks bad. What? I don't know. I don't know how those two things can coexist, but either way, let's see what Brian Steele has to say now after that. He says, comes now, Young Thug, by and through counsel, and hereby files this motion to challenge factual findings, not result of the Honorable Judge Krause's order dated July 15th, granting the motions to recuse Judge Glanville in the above referenced case. In support of this motion, Young Thug shows as follows. Young Thug is innocent of all crimes and in the above referenced indictment. The Honorable Judge Krause made two findings that are respectfully erroneous in her order. Oh my God. Granting the recusal of Judge Glanville dated July 15, 2024, Mr. Williams is not challenging the result of said order, but rather the following. Judge Krause wrote, divorced from its hyperbole, Young Thug's motion and supplement also seek to recuse Judge Glanville because of his involvement in the ex parte meeting, which Young Thug also alleges was improper and coercive. All right. And you can see page 5 of 10 on the order date July 15th. That's what we just looked at. We won't go back and look at it. There's nothing hyperbolic in Young Thug's motion to recuse, and affidavit and Young Thug stands by all laws, facts therein. All right. And here's the next thing, that it is worth nothing that the Honorable Judge Krause agrees generally with Judge Glanville's assessment of the propriety of the ex parte meeting. While the meeting could have and perhaps should have taken place in open court, nothing about the fact of the meeting or the substance discussed was inherently improper. And this is where I think all of us, most of us watching this, going through the transcript, looking at what Judge Krause's ruling was and the way she worded this, we 100,000% disagree with this. There is no way that ex parte meeting was not only necessary, but there's no way that the defense should have been excluded for that, just because that it was involving the contempt and not the actual case. They still should have been able to be present. And for Judge Krause to say that that's not the case, to me, is just disingenuous. But hey, I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy looking at this at face value. All right. This finding is wholly against the law. And this improper ex parte hearing, Young Thug, at this improper ex parte hearing, Young Thug and his counsel had the right to be present for several reasons, including, here we go, but not limited to, the fact that Lil Woody provided statements not only bearing on the substance of his testimony, but also his credibility. What did Lil Woody say when he was in the chambers that we all kind of were shocked about and got just passed over and wasn't addressed by ADA Hilton? Lil Woody said, "I did these crimes." Can you imagine what the defense would have said? They probably would have been doing backflips, swinging from the ceiling, say, whoa, Lil Woody, hold on. Hey, judge, relax for a second. Lil Woody, can you say that again? Now that you've got immunity, I'd like to hear what you have to say. You said you did these crimes. Can you elaborate, Lil Woody? They didn't get a chance to do that at all, which is totally, completely wrong. Miss Young Thug and his counsel had the right to be present for several reasons, including but not limited to the fact that Lil Woody provided statements not only bearing on the substance of his testimony, but also his credibility. There was erroneous amounts of Brady evidence shared at this improper ex parte meeting that lawyers Love and Hilton and Judge Glanville all attempted to keep secret from undersigned counsel. And there was no lawful reason for this ex parte get together. Love how he said that. There are more reasons that these findings by the Honorable Judge Krause are completely erroneous, but same do not affect the outcome or the correct ruling recusing the previous trial judge. Wherefore, Mr. Williams respectfully requests that this motion be spread upon the minutes of the court. And if needed, Young Thug stands ready for a hearing on the same. Okay, so that's the first one by Brian Steele. Now, I want to go back or fast forward actually a little bit to kind of the precedent that Paige Whitaker set when she first came into trial, talking to the defense, talking to the prosecution, basically saying, hey, I want y'all to work together. I want to figure this out. And if we can take care of some things outside of open court, we need to get that done, because I think this is important moving forward into our next topic.
All right. I am not going to go back. I mean, this case has been going on for how long? 6 months, at least the trial part of it. And obviously I'm parachuting in and I'm just going to have to pick up from here and move forward. I cannot go back and reconsider every evidentiary ruling that's already been made. And I don't think that's what you're asking. I think you're saying because this witness is still on the stand. But I don't know, Mr. Botts, if you were about to say, let's reconsider everything, but we're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. And basically what she was saying here is they were trying to get Little Woody's testimony taken out. They didn't want Little Woody's testimony in there. And she's saying, hey, I don't want to go back through all of this. We need to figure out a more effective way to move. Well, we've got Brian Steele comes in and he's up there pleading this case. Y'all check this out.
I just want you to know that there was a witness testifying. That's why I thought it's important, which will potentially, if you determine it, require the jury to have their notes, if you require it taken away and then wiping out what they heard. I just want you to be aware of that.
Okay, I'm not sure if I follow what you're saying now.
So there was a witness testifying. His name is Mr. Copeland.
Yeah.
After Judge
Talking about Lil
denied
Woody.
that motion, the jury heard from a witness on the afternoon of of June 12th, June 13th, June 14th, and then June 17th. So I just want you to be aware.
All right, I understand what you're saying now. All right, thank you.
Other than that, those are the motions.
Great.
All right, so now Brian Steele, he went ahead and put these motions in writing, and we're going to look at it here. Of course, sponsored by Thugger Daily. Shout out to Thugger Daily. If y'all haven't gone and checked them out on X, absolutely the best coverage, hands down, of everything that's going on in this case. Documents, court updates, minute by minute, sometimes live court updates. So shout out to Thugger Daily for this. But they say Brian Steele puts this motion in writing. He asked the new judge to strike all of Lil Woody's testimony and take away the juror's notes. That happened after Yak Gottit's original motion to recuse Judge Glanville was filed. Let's check this one out. We've got Young Thug, motion to invalidate and strike all proceedings that occurred in the above referenced case on and after the initial motion to recuse Judge Glanville was filed on June 12, 2024. Come now, Young Thug, and by and through undersigned counsel, and hereby files the motion to invalidate and strike all proceedings that occurred in the above referenced case on and after the initial motion to recuse Judge Glanville was filed on June 12th. In support of this motion, Young Thug shows as follows. Young Thug is innocent of all crimes in the above referenced indictment. On the afternoon of Wednesday, June 12th, the Honorable Douglas Weinstein, Esquire, counsel for DeMonte Kendrick, aka Yak Gotti, filed the initial motion to recuse the previous trial judge. Young Thug filed a separate timely motion to recuse on Monday, June 17th, 2024. Both motions to recuse were granted on Monday, July 15th, 2024 by, as we know, Judge Krause, right? If a party files a motion to recuse a trial judge and the motion is denied, but it is later determined that the judge should have been disqualified to act in the case, all proceedings after the filing of the motion to recuse are invalid and of no effect. Interesting. All right, we're going to see why that's important here in a second. In the case at bar, Judge Glanville denied the Honorable Attorney Weinstein's timely filed motion to recuse on June 12th, as well as Young Thug's timely motion to recuse on June 17th, which they said, right? Since these motions to recuse had merit and were granted, all proceedings that occurred after the filing of Attorney Weinstein's motion to recuse from June 12th through July 1st, when Glanville stepped away from the case, which include the testimony of witness Lil Woody. All right, so this is going to be huge if that's the case. This is going to be big. I want to read this one more time. Since the motions to recuse had merit and were granted, all proceedings that occurred after the filing of Attorney Weinstein's motion to recuse from Judge 12th through July 1st, when Judge Glanville stepped away from the case, which include the testimony of Lil Woody, exhibits admitted and displayed to the petit jury. All right. Yeah. Judge Glanville's rulings on any and all evidentiary issues and the like must be erased forever in toto from the jury's mind, and any rulings that occurred in front of and outside the presence of the jury are invalid. Now, we heard in that clip that we played that Judge Whitaker said, listen, y'all, I don't want to go back and go through all of these, but this all took place. What Brian Steele is saying is this all took place after the ex parte meeting. So he's like, man, we need to get all this stuff taken away or thrown out because the case or this trial was essentially tainted. And we can't even use this testimony because they were in Glanville's chambers. I mean, coaching little Woody up, giving them legal advice, telling them, hey, if you lie on the stand, it's going to be fine. And we all know that's not right. Wherefore, Young Thug respectfully requests a hearing on this motion, and at the conclusion of the same, asks the honorable court to grant the above requested relief and instructs the petit jury accordingly, including but not limited to removing all jurors' notes from the relevant time period and erasing from the jurors' minds the invalidated testimony and rulings and any other matters that occurred during this relevant time frame. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just looking at this from, I guess I should say, a layman's standpoint or somebody who's not actively involved in law. To me, this looks like another chess move by Brian Steele, and y'all can correct me, share your thoughts, and let me know what you think in the comments, right? But this looks like another chess move from Brian Steele. He's setting up, possibly giving more evidence and pushing and creating a way to either get a mistrial or to get this completely dismissed. And I'm sure that this will be brought up if and when we get to that point later on. So either way, Brian Steele out there, lawyer of the year, putting in work, doing his thing. And I'm sure as we go through the next couple days when court gets back in session, that we'll hear a lot more information on what's going on. But y'all let me know what you think in the chat and in the comments. Was this a smart move by Brian Steele? Is this just something that he had to do and is a part of the process? Is it a chess move going forward? And do you think it's going to set up something bigger that they're planning in the future? I want to hear y'all thoughts. Also, oh, look who it is. We got my guy, Judge Glanville, aka Judge Granville in the building. We got Judge Granville in here. What does he say? Oh, Lord have mercy. Judge Granville says, shout out to my brother, ClassE Beats. I'm out playing golf, listening to your live. YSL, hit the like button. I'm still a judge and I'll hold this chat in contempt. So hit the like button. Salute. And shout out to Judge Granville. And it looks like y'all did not want to be held in contempt because we have 1,600 likes on this video. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for liking the video. That's all I asked. Y'all like the video. And it looks like every single person that's in here did that. So shout out to my guy, Judge Granville over here, putting in work. All right. Man, that's amazing. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a good game. And then Judge Granville says, hey, Amy, I'll be back on the bench. I appeal it.
Stop the cap.
Please hit the like button, y'all. I appreciate it. Judge Granville also says, Brian Steele was a thorn in my side. That's my thoughts. Hey, I understand. Y'all had a pretty good battle back and forth. But Judge Granville, you messed up. You had him in the palm of your hand. Yeah, you were going to put him away for 20 weeks and the Supreme Court had to step in. But that ex parte meeting hadn't taken place. You might still be sitting up there taking a comfort break right now. Come on, man. Take some. Now, I will have to say, I saw Judge Granville over on, I think it was Cat Not Williams live stream, and he did issue an apology, okay? So we're going to show him some grace. He said he apologized to Brian Steele and all of YSL for his behavior. So we're going to give Judge Granville some grace, and thank you for being here. All right, what is Wealthy Wisdom saying? If they get a mistrial, it has to be because of the ex parte and the prosecution team made the request and caused all of this. It should be double jeopardy. Yeah. And we got to give Kayla her credit. We got to give Kayla her credit. I know some people are saying I've been hating on Kayla. We talked about Kayla and some of the things that went on with the ex parte meeting. Hey, Owen being the mole. I've always, and I'm going to stand on it when it comes to Kayla being the mole. I think she was the mole. But y'all got to say, if this does have a mistrial, Kayla is the hero of this case, or whoever the mole was. Y'all got to give her some credit, because she went over to this defense and she said, guess what they said in here? They tried to tell him that he could say whatever he wants to. Did y'all know they met with him in the car on Friday, June 7th, before he got up on the stand? Give Kayla her flowers, man. If this thing, she did that. Oh, Jenny D is back in the building. Good to see you, Jenny D. We've also got Wealthy Wisdom in here with some wise words. Said the substance of the transcripts is hard to overlook. Absolutely. Krause was trying to protect Glanville as well as the prosecution team, and the motion she filed makes it so obvious the case is tainted. And we said this even before Krause gave her response. I was wrong when it came to Krause. I did not think she was going to do the right thing, or would say the right thing. I don't know that she technically did. She still kind of threw our guy Granville, aka Glanville, a bone. But Judge Krause, it was clear that she didn't want to do this, whatever she did. And when we were reviewing this and seeing everything that was going down and the fact that she was going to be the one ruling on these motions to recuse, I said to y'all, I don't think she's going to do it. I don't see her being able to do it. She's not going to walk down the hall and see Judge Glanville and him giving her dirty looks and his dog growling at her. I didn't see that happening, but she did what she was supposed to do. She stood on business and she got Glanville out of there, but not before she said, I don't think he did anything wrong, but you guys think it so. And he's going in timeout. Lame. Okay, Cooper says, shout out to Kayla. Yeah. Amy says, oh Lord, why can't we have one live without talking about Kayla? Kayla is the hero of the case. We got to give her her flowers. She got Glanville up out of there. Or Granville. Christopher is in here, says, I think it was Hilton. She too quiet. There's no way. No way. I would be shocked if it was Hilton. 8 Baboon is up in here, says, no, they met with him the Friday before he went to the stand. Are you sure? Because I'll have to go back and look at it. From what I understood was that June 7th, Hilton met with Little Woody that morning. And then they talked in the car. Then he got the immunity. Then he went on the stand and he pled the 5th. They locked him up that weekend. Ex parte meeting took back on the 10th. I know that's the right timeline. The only thing I'm not sure of when she met with him in the car. I don't know if they said the time, but I'm pretty sure. I'll look that up on my own time because y'all probably don't want to sit here and watch me pull up these transcripts. Mixed Chick Samantha said, in the words of Hilton, sure. Oh my God. Amy says she got her flowers over the weekend. Y'all better leave Kayla alone. Which I reached out to Kayla to see if she wants to come on the platform. So still waiting for a response to see if she wants to come over here. But her people probably told him, no, he's hating on you. I'm not hating on Kayla. All right. Y'all leave me alone. Let me see. I should have all of these in a folder, but I don't because it's super unorganized. Young Thug recusal motion denied. Motion to recuse. Motion for fair. Amended witness. State response. Oh, this is bad. Supreme Court denial. Okay, we're getting closer. Motion to recuse. I got to go back and find the transcripts so I can verify that. But I'll let y'all know for sure. Let's get a couple more comments in here and I'm going to get y'all up out of here. Thank you to everybody who's in here and liked the video. I appreciate y'all for real. Wealthy Wisdom says the morning of the ex parte, Hilton was in another room talking to Woody. Love was so dumb to say that in the meeting and the transcript caught it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I pretty sure that the transcript said that they met in the car or something like that when she's going back and forth with him and saying, no, you said this. He said, no, I didn't say that. You said this when we met. 8 Baboon says, I'm pretty positive it reads like what you said, the transcript. But if you go back and watch the old videos, I'm pretty sure they clarify. Okay, I'll have to double check that for sure. Yeah, I know, Mixed Chick Samantha. I just got to go back and find it. Judge Granville said, I love Judge Granville, man. That's amazing. I think Kayla mentioned it to Woody's lawyer only to update him on what happened. She was supposed to, what happened as she was supposed to do is what I think he meant to say. And his lawyer called Steele. That's how Steele found out. So technically she didn't tell. But her whole, here's the, oh man, we're going to go on Kayla again. Amy's going to get me for talking about Kayla again. Here's my problem with that, Judge Granville, is I never had a problem with Kayla giving them information. They shouldn't have had this meeting in the first place. I think Glanville, Hilton, and Love are the only ones who have an issue with that, right? With the sacrosanct of your chambers. But with that being said, Kayla has continued to say and said in past shows and in interviews that she gave them all of this information, but she wasn't the one who initially leaked the information, which is why she's saying she's not the mole. So I'm just saying, just say you're the mole. It's not a big deal. And I think that's where I'm confused at, because if what you're saying is true, then that would technically make her the mole in her opinion, because she said, okay, yeah, I gave them information, but they already knew about the ex parte meeting. So I'm not the mole. I'm just the person who gave them all of this info. But if what you're saying is true, and she told Melnick, and then Melnick told Steele, then that makes her the mole because she told Melnick about the meeting. I don't know, Granville. I'm probably overthinking it. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to let y'all get up out of here. I was already up here talking y'all's ears off. I really appreciate and want to say thank y'all for not only showing support. We've had 1,000 people in here watching, over 1,000, at some point 1,600 of y'all watching, and every single one of y'all liked the video. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to this channel as we're continuing to grow. If y'all want to, you can share this video if you had a good time, and you can subscribe because we're going to be live every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also dropping 2 videos every single day. We've got a video dropping this afternoon around 6:30. You don't want to miss out on that. All right. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see some of y'all tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Song of the Night live. If you love music, if you're an artist, you want a chance to win some cash and get your music heard, make sure you tune in tonight. Y'all have a great rest of your day. And you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace.
Say, my brother, my sister, just believe in yourself. Believe in your skin, believe in your health, believe in yourself. Believe in your talk, believe in your walk, believe in yourself. Believe in your skin, believe in your health, believe in yourself. Believe in your talk, believe in your walk.
Since everything starts with self, let me hold this mirror up and take a look at myself. Before I judge you, I gotta check myself. And I come to find out that that's good for my health, right? Change your mind and watch the whole body follow. So you won't hear me talking about I'm hitting you with hollows. I can't do it, got plans for tomorrow. And I ain't trying to bring my seeds no type of sorrow. Wait, cause fake rappers do fake-ish. I mean, most of basic get replaced quick. I'll never sacrifice my soul. Truth is, so I might never get 1 million records sold. But that's cool, cause I'm good with the creator. He nurtured my thoughts, so I present you with verbal flavor. You never listen to what no haters say. We pray for them, but we gon' move it this way. We moving forward, y'all.
We can do anything. We can't be worried about what they say.